911 location of your emergency.
Breaking news out of North Idaho. Moscow police are investigating a homicide on King Road.
Is she breathing?
No.
So 5'10", all black. Could you see what color his eyebrows were or anything like that?
No, I don't remember what his eyes look like either.
Officers discovered the bodies of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Maddie Mogen, and Kaylee Goncalves, but no weapon has been located at this time.
Arrested. That's 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger in custody today.
Kohberger allegedly stalked one of the victims. That's false.
We do not have evidence that the defendant had direct contact with 1122 or with residents of 1122, but we can put his phone in that area. There are many residences in that area. It's a dense population of mostly college-related occupants.
Hey there, guys. Give me 1 second. I am really sunburnt. And I was trying to make sure that I had this like after stuff on my face before we went live. I went fishing with Dad today, and I just don't really go out in the sun often at all. And so when I do grace the world with my presence, my bright skin cannot take it. Yesterday wasn't too bad because we went in the evening. But today was ridiculous. And the crazier part, y'all, we caught 12 fish. Couldn't keep none. They weren't regulation size. But it was fun. And we're going to just get up early and try to do it earlier tomorrow and see what happens. But damn. Okay. I am bright. Like, I am burnt. I really am, like, burnt as shit. I am burnt. I need to actually turn this down. That's why another reason we started a little bit later than I wanted to. Because I am burnt, y'all. Like, look at my arms. Oh my God. But I have sunscreen and it's packed for tomorrow already and it'll be fine. I should have known better. It's not like I'm, not almost 40 and don't know that my skin does this. That's my bad. It doesn't hurt, and it will tomorrow. I already know what I'm in for. I don't know why I didn't pack sunscreen. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. If my kids were going, I know it would have been in the bag. But it was just me and Dad. I didn't even think about it. And he's always out in the sun, so he's like immune or some shit. I don't even know. Oh my God. Okay. So, I'm going to check y'all's comments from the beginning here in just a second. I know that originally I said that I wanted to go over the hearing during this live. I changed my mind, obviously. If you have your notification bells on, you will see that I have already set up live streams for the rest of the week. This includes tomorrow around 1:45, going over the paperwork in the Idaho Statesman versus Ann Taylor situation. Now, if you were in the members only live last night, then you saw us go over the article that was written by Kevin Fixler, and we went over like a 30-minute or so interview between him and Brian Hinton. So fun, where they discussed this money that the case is costing. And that's going to be like a separate topic that we do another live on, because like we were talking about in the members only live, we have a lot of questions because they're saying that like it's already $8 million, and that's not including the prosecutor's office. That's not including a lot of stuff when it comes to experts and when it comes to the FBI. And I have a huge issue with that, and everyone should, even if you're on the guilting side. Let's be serious. For there to be already over $8 million worth of expenses, and there's unknown hair, there's unknown DNA, there's no answers to anything. And that's not, again, including the FBI costs, because the FBI don't have to turn all of that over, and they did everything. So there's no cost being counted into that for the cell phone analysis with Nick Balance and everybody else that worked that. There's no information in there for whatever Michael Douglas did with the Amazon shit. There's nothing in there for whatever they did with the car information with Special Agent Heel or whatever, and then the ML guy. Name one thing that the FBI didn't touch in this case. I bet you can't. So for all of the expenses and for everything that literally was done by the feds, including, again, the IGG, that's not even included in the $8-something million. what? So the Idaho Statesman is trying to get information about this because of a judge that was put over the finances when there was a venue change. And Ann Taylor is apparently fighting for certain documents not to be released. Now, Sarah, because Sarah is so freaking quick with the documents, bro. Yesterday, they were nowhere. As of today, she has them, and she has them on her Twitter page. There's 4 documents that she pulled, and we're going to go over them tomorrow. I think, again, I have that one set for like 1:45. I haven't had the chance to go over them yet. I'm going to look at them a little bit tomorrow and probably a little bit later on this evening when we get done with this. But there's, again, like 4 documents. There's one that says it's a declaration of Ann Taylor, but like she doesn't really say much. You'll see, I don't know. It's like a bunch of repetitive stuff in that one. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to go over it. And then, yes, that interview that I told you guys about a week ago or so now with the Goncalveses, I have listened to some of it. I started playing some of it to screen record it after me and Dad got back today, but then we left again and I left it recording while we were gone. So I don't know. I haven't listened to a lot of it. I know that in the beginning they talked a lot about like family stuff and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't want to sit there for like an hour and a half going and listening to stuff that isn't like part of what our argument is with them. And our argument is with them is that they are constantly out here not being honest, not being truthful, and not taking any accountability for the things that they have come out here and said. And the portions I did hear of this one, he's still basically trying to blame it all on the state, pretending like he didn't say a million and a half times that the state wasn't speaking to them, that the state wasn't telling them anything. They weren't getting any updates from the state. So how can you blame the state for the things that you came out here and lied about while also claiming, oh, this shadow person is holding information hostage for $10,000. And, oh, I had 2 guys that I work with pull up a bunch of information. And, oh, I had this guy do this. And, oh, I had this guy do that. That's you, broski. And then you can't come out here with this story thinking that like history just erased itself. That's not cute. That's not how this is going to work. That's not how this is going to work. And all we want is some accountability. So I don't know just yet if we're going to go over the entire thing or if I'm going to go in and like, I mean, people could call it cherry picking. I don't really give a shit what people call it. You can go and listen to the original source, apparently several different places. But again, I don't want to just go through like all the howsy do's and blah, 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 especially when in this one, they once again are catering to the bullshit and say, oh, Kaylee's the middle of 5. Instantly, I'm just like, okay, we already know what you're doing. Like, we already know what you're doing. You're going to purposely pretend like Sam doesn't exist. And regardless of whatever the dynamic is here, Kaylee is not the middle of 5. That's just the facts. So I don't know if they just didn't want to confront them with it or if they weren't comfortable making it more of like a generic situation, why that even had to be brought up. I almost feel, and this is just the petty part of me, I guess, I almost feel like they do it on purpose. Purposely mention the 5, as much as they can. Because I feel like that's the kind of people that they are. I don't know. I don't know them personally. I don't know. It just bothers me. But today is an interesting day because today, 1 year ago, is when all of a sudden the news broke that Bryan Kohberger suddenly was pleading guilty. Now, this is also the day that the plea change was signed, June 30th, but there was also some like cross-out stuff on there because, nothing's just straightforward in this case. But this was a very strange day. Because we just got done basically having everything denied. This was around the time where the alternate perpetrator evidence was being submitted. This was around the time where Judge Hippler was basically telling Ann Taylor that it didn't matter what she had, that unless the state basically had a reason for whoever she wanted to speak to be on that stand, to give her the option to cross-examine, she wasn't going to have the option to do shit with it. So everything that Ann Taylor wanted to fight was in the hands of the state. And the truth is that the state didn't have shit. And we've known that the entire time. And that was just verified to us when Bill Thompson stood up that day in court, which again, I have that one set up. That is for July the 2nd at 11:45 in the morning. We are going to go back over that. That's where I get my intro from. The plea change, where he says they can't put him there. They can't connect him. They can't connect him to anything. And all that's happened over the past 1 year, 365 days, with how many thousands of documents that have come out in the last year from court releases after that stuff was normally coming out, then everything that's now been unsealed. Then we have interviews, police reports, forensic reports. How many thousands of hours have we put in the past year going over evidence just to find not a single thing that points to the man that stood up and said yes 4 times? And that shit makes no sense. Then to find out, when Steve is being not babysat, that Bryan Kohberger wanted to enter an Alford plea to keep the innocent portion of the plea going. But they rallied around to make sure that that didn't happen. That's crazy. That's wild. And again, all of these thousands of documents, all of these thousands of hours, all of these hundreds of hours of video that we have gone through, listening to interviews, watching how people interact or don't have any sort of interaction or emotion whatsoever, that wasn't expected. As loved as these 4 seem to have been, when we started getting the interviews, the emotionlessness was definitely something that threw me for a big loop. And to this day, it still surprises us with how there doesn't seem to be very much connection, very noticeable. And these are interviews that are being done less than a week after the situation took place. That's crazy to me. A lot of the distance that people keep trying to put them to between themselves and Kaylee is really interesting. All of the information that has come out about really suspicious things when it comes to the Goncalves family, the way that the Chapins have tried to erase Ethan from practically everything and have done a damn good job in doing so. Might I add, look around. How much of anything is ever about Ethan? We try to talk about it as much as possible, because getting that 11/12 footage, Ethan and Xana's timeline was the entire reason for that. The entire reason. Just to find out a year after the plea, with all these people coming out and talking, that they still have no clue when Ethan and Xana even got close enough to be on the Wi-Fi, much less actually in the house. They have no idea. The DoorDash information is crazy. Nothing when it comes to anything that they looked at adds up to anything. Nothing on any devices. Nothing on any social media. Not even going through the victim servers did they find anything that could possibly connect anywhere. And then to find out that the arrest warrant that was written, the state themselves called it irrelevant, useless. The entire thing is debunkable. How that wasn't instantly fruit of the poisonous tree with all of the lies in that, I will never understand. I don't understand. And I don't see how people that want to believe that he's guilty can even sit back a little bit and think that this is normal, even a little. And now these lawsuits. Now these lawsuits that the families have against WSU, but not against the state who wrecked this entire investigation, that left you with emotional distress and all of this trauma from not giving you any answers, from not keeping you in the loop, by not keeping their promises, by doing all these other things. You go and sue the school. While still complaining about how you don't really have answers. While also saying that you don't have time to read through everything. You know, one of the stupid things I heard them say today was, you know, for these people, these are just characters. Steve, no, they're not. Kaylee is not a character to me. Maddie is not a character to me. Xana and Ethan are not freaking characters to us, Steve. Just because you keep having this like weird movie shit in the back of your mind that keeps coming out of your face every time you get in front of a camera does not mean that it's like that for all of us. Your daughter is not a character to us, Steve. I'm so sick and tired of his way of thinking, bitching about true crimers 24/7 again every time he's in front of a camera, but that camera always belongs to a true crimer. I have never ever seen a more hypocritical coupling in my life. And to chastise the people that give a shit, you're welcome, Steve, for all the documents that you have that you didn't have to FOIA or pay for because we out here did it. Because remember, when we do it, when we pay for it, that's the only way the families get it. So everything that they have now is thanks to us as a community, regardless of if creators get together and agree or not. Everyone that has FOIA'd information has put that information in the family's hands that the state couldn't. And what do we get? We get bitched at. We get told that we're the ones in the wrong because they don't want to take accountability for the shit that they've lied about. And that's all that we ask for. Like, come on. We've backtracked on a lot of things once truth came out and we had to correct trajectory. It's not hard, Steve. But we also, we know how your history goes with that. So probably never going to happen. Probably never going to happen. Yeah, we're definitely going to be going over that one tomorrow evening. I'll decide how I want to do it. I don't know. But we might just go through the whole thing. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for joining, Ursula. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Email, comment. Oh, yeah. I wrote you back. I emailed you back last night, Christina. So email me so that we can figure out how you want to do that because okay, so you guys know how like my broken plea book with like my notes and everything in it, we're going to be giving that away, like should be in the next week because we're almost done with it. Christina has one that she wants to give away that she said, I think she never even like read, right? Like it's just like there. She never got to really whatever. No writing, no nothing. It's like brand new. She wants to give that one away too. So we just need to coordinate and see how you want to do like the sending thing. Because I want to cover like the shipping, however you want to do it. I just don't know if you're okay with like sending it out yourself or like how you want to do that. So we'll talk about that. Hey, Floors. Hey, I was eager to see the case to go to trial last year and thought I'd spend a lot of time diving into each court day. But alas, the plea deal surprised me. Still waiting to hear anything from BK. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have like PTO that I had saved up that I was ready to just like take off days and sit there and go through it and listen to the whole thing. And I really figured that it was going to take all the weeks that they said that it was going to take. I was figuring it was going to take a long time. Now, what did I think was going to happen? Honestly, I figured he was going to get found guilty based on the way that the court had happened. I didn't know which way they were going to go with death penalty, but I figured that the way that the court worked and the way that the media had been and just the lack of them wanting to tell the truth, hiding everything, the jury wasn't going to see everything. And the way that they were going to present it, there was no way the jury was going to be able to unwind that bullshit in a short amount of time. If we'd been doing it this whole time and we can't, especially since the state has nothing, they're going to make it look convoluted as hell. They're going to say all kinds of crazy things. So I didn't have hopes for the trial. But there was still going to be a chance that something would actually go right. Maybe just maybe it was going to be just empty enough to where we weren't going to have to go through all this process because they were going to see how bullshit it was. And it wasn't going to be, I don't know. I just know that there was like no hope. I really felt like there was just like no hope. Everything that Ann Taylor tried, her hands were tied. It was literally just like the Delphi situation with Richard Allen. Like, I swear, Gull and Hitler, they've got to be related. And look how pathetic the evidence is in Delphi. And look what happened to Richard Allen. This was going to be that. I already had it in my brain, like, this is going to be a fight. But this is not how I expected this to go at all. There is such a lack of everything. The lies they were willing to tell. And look at this. All the way to the very beginning. We have the very first responders getting information wrong in the search warrants, flipping stuff around, not checking their notes, not paying attention to things, contaminating the shit out of the scene. The scene's already contaminated. And then the cops get there, They're all over the place. Then the forensics get there, and they don't know their asses from anything. Because look at the mistakes in the handwritten report. And I have to say that it's mistakes in the handwritten report because we go off of facts. And we have to say that the report that was typed up by Talbot matches the photographs that we have. So it is the handwritten report that has to be the wrong one because these two things match. This one doesn't. We have to go based off of that. And you know what's crazy? Let me see if I can find it in my bookmarks real quick. I saw something on TikTok yesterday, and the very first thing that came to my mind was there's no way in shit that they can't give us body cam that has the bodies redacted to where we can see. Like with it, the only thing that I think about in this aspect is Eric Warner's body cam. Because Eric Warner walked over there to check Maddie's leg, meaning he would have been right there where the damn knife sheath was. And if it was partially covered, it would have been noticeable. It would have been in his damn body cam. But even with this shit book that was written, they don't really want to talk too much about Warner's body cam. They only want to talk about Noon's body cam. And I don't really quite understand why he wants to keep going on about Noon's body cam. Because in that one, when he's having a discussion, okay, here it is right here. I'm going to show it to you in just a second. When he's having a discussion about Noon's body cam on like a channel that he's doing an interview on, he's saying how, oh, you can see Warner like look down, blah, 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 blah. I don't care what you can see Warner, that you can see Warner looking down on Noon's body cam. I want Warner's body cam so I can see what he's seeing. So whatever they were trying to say their thoughts are on that, it's still just all a theory. It's still just a guess because we don't have that literal bird's eye view that we need. But let me show you what I saw on TikTok. Let me show y'all what I saw on TikTok. The way this thing blurs this baby. And I instantly said, there's no way that they can't redact that body cam. There's no way. Look at this. I'm going to press play. I want it on mute though, because it doesn't like whatever the thing is. Look at the movement of this. Look at the blur. Tell me that they can't go in and redact that damn body cam to where we don't see the girl's skin. We don't see the blood, where it's literally a static blur, but we could see around it. Look at this app. I don't know. I don't know if this is an iPhone. I don't know if it's an Android. I don't know if it's a program that she ran it through. I don't know what this is, but look at this blur. Tell me they can't use this to give us real body cam about what happened that day. Look at this. I think this is fantastic. This is how all of the interviews should be. If they don't want us to see the person, okay, cool, but there's no reason to be blurring out the entire table or to be blurring it out so much that we can't see the cops either. Like, this is what they should be doing. I just don't understand why they keep pretending like they don't have the technology to do certain things. Just like we've been asking them for ledgers for all of these TAM redactions, and all they can say is that they don't have one. Well, then how do you double check? Who goes in and says what needs to be redacted so the redactor can do the redacting? Is there not a list? Is there not something written out? Is there not something that's emailed? How come we can't have a log of all of these redactions that you're making? I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. They think that we're dumb. That's the part. Like, they think that we really are just straight up stupid, and we just think that they really just don't have it. But you do, bro. But you do. Like, come on. I'm going to get back up to the top of y'all stuff in a second. Yeah, it's all very wild. All very wild. I just don't want to miss anybody's stuff. Hold on. What are you doing, Zata? She's in here again. I don't know if she's going to go crazy, but she's in here. She sure is. I know, isn't it wild? And nothing points to him. Nothing points to him. Well, thank you for coming. Isn't that wild as hell? And that's why we keep looking. I mean, we really, really are trying to find something. All the shit that we've read, all the things that we've listened to, I just don't understand. Like, there's so many things happening in the background. Like, what's going on with the leak thing? Because the leak thing is happening like now in like the criminal realm of stuff. But now we have these finances being hidden apparently. And now that's a whole nother fight. So we're still unsealing stuff. And this is what aggravates me. What do I have the freaking papers? When people come in here like, oh my God, you're still talking about this? Yeah, we're still talking about this. We've got 3 more years of documents that need to be unsealed. All of 2024, all of 2023, and all of 2022. Even though 2022 will only have a few, if any. They might not actually have any. They might not have any. But no, because it doesn't matter when he got arrested. They were doing warrants and all kind of stuff before his arrest too, when it comes to the victims and other people. So there's going to be still stuff. Well, maybe not when it comes to court documents. Probably not. Yeah, I don't know. There was only like, 2 days left in December? And he wasn't in Latah County until January 5th. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have anything to unredact for 2022. I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. Anyway, so we've got that happening. EWU Media versus Moscow. WSU versus Families. Idaho Statesman now versus Ann Taylor. And then the leak situation happening. Then on top of that, we have to remember we also had the Laramie family and then the Chapins popped in to fight Moscow, to close stuff down. And then we had, well, we didn't cover it a lot because it doesn't have a connection to like what we're doing here. But then we also had like the TikTok psychic stuff, but we didn't talk about her. One of her documents did show up on our side, but then all that stuff happened separately. So, but it's still a thing. So many things like sprouted from this one situation. It's been pretty wild, but there's so much happening still. So much happening still. Oh my God, no, I got so burnt today, but also because I was on the water, like a crazy person. Well, I'm glad, nomadic duck. This case drives me crazy. This case drives me absolutely insane. I just really don't understand. I remember sitting in a Mexican restaurant last year. My mom randomly looked at her phone and I glanced over and saw Kohberger pleads and a headline. I was like, oh my God. I know, right? Yeah, I literally, bro, let me see if I can pull up my receipt. This day, I paid for the Carfax for his car. Yep, right here, 6/30/2025. Let me pull this. Oh, hold on. Now it's on like a separate USB because after the plea, I just like put it down. Like I just put it with the stuff. But I literally earlier that day, because I was trying to, there was a very specific reason. What the frick was it? Now I can't even remember. But yeah, look, June 30th, 2025, 4:07 p.m. I had just purchased it. And then like, I don't know, what time did, I don't know if I can even see. Can I see what time? I don't think I can see what time. It only shows me the day that I went live to talk about it. But it had to have been like maybe an hour after that. It was like pretty quick. Like I was literally like reading it. And then the news broke and I was like, what? Yeah, it threw me everywhere. Oh my God, it threw me everywhere. Yeah, shock is literally such an understatement for me. It was so like left because of everything that we just listened to, because it wasn't like we were just getting a bunch of denials from the motions in limine, right? We were also seeing that there were so many issues. We were also still seeing that they wanted to lie about the IGG, that they were going to have Payne go in there and lie to them about everything. Yes, like we went live as soon as everything started to drop in. I was like, you cannot be serious. Like, you cannot be serious right now. It was the most just left situation. Left as hell situation. My God. Yeah, freaked everyone out. Is that everything you're growing? Tomatoes, potatoes, cucumbers, chives, mint, lemon, balm, strawberries, blueberries, elderberries, watermelon, cantaloupe, green beans, loofah gourds, or however you spell it, and a few other things. Oh my God. Dream. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Gerard's freaking Nancy, bro. Oh my God. Oh, I'm sure Nancy was clicking her heels when that shit happened. Oh my God. Yeah, because it was so weird. My God, it was so weird. So insane. Huh? I don't even know what the fuck that means. So goodbye, weirdo. Cattle panels, been archways. Oh my God, I feel so like I need to be outside more. Oh my God. Hey, JLO. Is he like doing this too? Like, I literally have been saying for over a week that we were going to do this. And if you're going to come over here being a fucktard, you could just leave. Dumbasses. Yeah, trial should have happened. Yeah, it made no sense. And then what are we hearing? What are we hearing from Turvey? What are we hearing from Turvey? 3 different stories. And he asks Ann Taylor, what the hell happened? And he's getting 3 different stories. That's crazy. The truth doesn't change. The truth does not change. So I'm a crispy ass critter, bro, for real. Like, I'm matching my lobsters and my crawfish. Oh my God. My neck is redder than my rose dye in my tattoo. We went straight to the Walmart. I got this. I got a whole bunch of sun stuff. I got straight in the tub as soon as I got home. I've been using this stuff like every 30 minutes. I'm not trying to bubble up, bro, because I know I'll blister. I know that I'll blister. But we're going to go right back out tomorrow. But I'm going to drench myself this time in the actual sunscreen. Like I said, I know better. Like, here I am, like almost 40 and just not even thinking, like a big old dummy. Like a big old dummy. Oh, I know. Oh my God. Because so we've been following the tides and stuff, right? Because there's no, my sister used to do archery, but I've never fished with a bow. We caught like 4 sheephead, and the size is 15, and 2 of them were 13, and the other 2 were 14, so we didn't keep them. And then we caught 2 croaker, and they were just too small. Like, there's not a size limit on croaker. You can just like do whatever. But they were so tiny, they'd been so pointless. And then there was another one that was weird looking. I don't know what the hell it was. Dad didn't know what it was either. It almost looked like a sheephead because it had the lines like a sheephead, but the shape was definitely not like a sheephead. I don't know what the hell it was, but it was tiny. It got put whack. And then like 4 of them were these little teeny hardheads that were like this big around, and I'm just like, y'all get out of my face. It was actionable, it was fun, because it's really all about like, feeling the hit of it and being like, oh my God, I got one, yay, and blah blah blah. No, 12, and we couldn't keep none. We went out there, had the shrimps, had the big old case, the ice chest ready and everything. No. I was so sad. I know, oh my God. Yeah, it doesn't hurt though. It will tomorrow. That's what I should have done. Oh, that's what I should have done. I just took a regular old bath. Yeah, they're so like I really I don't like them. Because I don't like Bryan Inton because he's biased and he's lazy. He's biased and he's lazy. He wants the interview so he won't be honest. And he's not questioning the things that he should be questioning. He only cares about the drama. It's just like in yesterday's interview. They're not mentioning all of the things that the prosecution failed to do, all of the things that were not tested, all of the things that the FBI did they can't calculate because the state didn't do anything on their own. And instead of being honest about what's happening here, instead of being honest about the fact that it's both sides and they need to be just as critical of the state side, it's all, oh, Ann Taylor did this and Kohberger did that and Ann Taylor did this and Ann Taylor spent this and blah, 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 blah. What about the bullshit that the state pulled here? What about the bullshit the state pulled? They're not talking about that. They only want what's going to drive the audience. They don't want to be honest. That's my problem. That's my problem. They never are honest. Hey there, Becky. Literally ever. It's always one-sided, and it's so stupid. Yeah, just like what have I been saying about the chain of custody stuff? Okay. With Kevin Fixler and Bryan Inton's just in the same hole because he sits there and he lets the Goncalveses be dishonest. He always has. I don't understand the point in any of that, especially when it's not just about them and there's other people, in this whole situation. So I don't understand why these people allow them to be dishonest. They get the records. They can see exactly what we can see. How come they're not honest about it? I don't know. Okay. But my problem with Fixler has been the same thing for like a while now. But this last thing that he did really bothered me because he interviewed Turvey and they're talking about the chain of custody issues and about everything that Turvey was out here talking about and everything that was talked about in the book. Okay. Who got the chain of custody for the knife sheath? Us, not Kevin Fixler. So Kevin Fixler does the interview, he gets the information, and he just writes an article and goes with it. He doesn't follow through to file the FOIA to get the information to see if the person that he's getting this information from is being honest and report on the truth. He gets the salacious gossip coming from a guy who's now going to get chastised from the attorney he works for being out here talking, and he doesn't follow through with getting the facts. Then we get the chain of custody. Hi, over here. And does he report on the issues with the chain of custody? Does he report on the fact that Brett Payne is over there fiddling with the damn knife sheath the week before the plea? No. Does he go in and actually try to see if he can find what Brent Turvey is talking about when he's talking about his chain of custody issues? No. He takes a photo that was given to him by Brent Turvey and just posts an article based off of a one-sided conversation and doesn't follow through to get facts. I have a problem with that. Which ones? The ones that Connor posted? Or just like the crime scene photos in general? These crime scene photos were bad. See, that's the only thing that I can think of. Because I know that they are twisting it. They're twisting it. So when you brought that up yesterday, I was like, that's really the only thing that I can think of. Because we know that people really still are not supposed to be talking about stuff. And if the state can talk, then I don't understand why the defense experts can't talk without getting chastised. But I also don't understand how Cy Ray can write a book and Ann Taylor not, come out with a public statement about Cy Ray writing a book. But Brent Turvey comes out and she throws a fit. So she has two different experts coming out, but her behavior towards them coming out and speaking is complete 180 behavior. Why is that? Shouldn't she be just as disappointed in Cy Ray for writing a book with a whole bunch of case information in there about what he knows and what he saw and what his opinion is? Because that's what Turvey's out here doing. Even though he said a lot of incorrect shit, there's no signature wounds. The dude's lying about a lot of stuff, why is that happening? Why is the defense expert that's coming out here to tell us there's some shit happening here? Something's wrong. How come some of the things that he's telling us is a straight up lie? There's no way that an expert sees the wounds on Kaylee that are on the shoulder horizontally, showing the cartilage inside of the shoulder joint and then sees tilted oblique lines on Maddie inches below, above the left breast, and says, oh, those are vertical, parallel, linear signature wounds. No, they're freaking not, sir. Why would you come out here and discredit the things that you've said that we can prove by telling us some crazy off-the-wall shit like that? When we get the autopsies and everything is being described and we find out that you're wrong, why would you come out and say that? Now, the wounds underneath the girls' necks seem to be pretty much the same. The cuts under the girls' necks. The way they're described, pretty much the same. But the signature wounds on the shoulder that they made him and Chris Whitcomb made out to be this big deal don't exist. Why do that? That gives the Goncalveses and people like them the right to say, it's not hair. This dude's a quack. Look what he said about this. Look what he said about that. That shit's not true. He's not right about this either. I don't care. There's an FBI report. It's debris, and so it's just debris, and I don't care. Can we really be mad at them as much as we are mad at them, even though I'm not going to change the amount of mad I am? Let's just be so serious. But can we really blame them, I guess, with their behavior when he has so many things wrong that he says, and he literally was the paid defense expert? That's a problem. That's a problem. So you have to be honest all the way around. And just because we have our thoughts on the evidence and where it's not pointing doesn't mean that we have to kiss the ass of the entire defense side. If they're out here doing some dumb shit, they're going to get talked about for doing some dumb shit. And Turvey did some dumb shit. And Taylor's done some dumb shit. Eliza hasn't done no dumb shit. Becca Barlow didn't do no dumb shit. As far as I'm understanding, Jay Logsdon hasn't done anything that I can complain about either. But Turvey, you come out and give everyone a little bit of glimpse of like, holy shit. Like, we really have been correct in thinking that there's all this crap going on. And we are. There's still crap going on. Even though what he's telling us about the chain of custody is a little bit convoluted and it took some time for us to like figure it out ourselves about what really seems to have happened. I think we're almost there. Nowhere near what I don't know what he's talking about. The paperwork that we have, there's definitely an issue, but he's got his story wrong based on the paperwork. If he can come out and prove otherwise, cool, fine. Please prove me wrong. But right now with what we have, yeah, there was problems, but not the way he's describing them. And also with Chris Holland, again, it's been like 2 weeks now, guys. I wrote him and asked him all about the whole thing, saying that Xana's blood was in the kitchen, what we found going through the documentation, that it actually was negative for blood. It was never sent off for testing. It was blah, 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 whatever. No response. Now, I did also file a FOIA for the chain of custody for that because it was stored for some reason. It was negative for blood at the scene, but then they still stored it, and it was part of that whole refrigerator situation that happened, which again, holy shit, a whole nother crazy part of that is the same day that closed session happened in January 23rd, 2025, where Brett Payne came out and told Ann Taylor about the 1219 phone call and the lead suspect beforehand and the unknown DNA afterwards and all the crazy shit. That same night is when that refrigerator incident happened on January 23rd, 2025. Just so happens that he sits there and tells the court that there's this unknown male DNA that they found out about after the Kohberger case that they completely shelved and didn't do shit about. And that night, the refrigerator goes out. How am I supposed to just believe those two things don't have something in common? Come on now. This case drives me insane. I'm going to need like a year vacation away from humans once this is over. Like, I'm going to just disappear for a hot minute because this is so freaking wild. See, and isn't it annoying? And it's so freaking annoying. Like, just be honest and tell us the truth and don't over exaggerate because there's just no way with everything that they don't have. This is the cost. Where's all the testing that was done? Because there's no answers to lots of things. Unknown DNA, unknown blood, unknown hair, 9 people swabbed that weren't tested. It was January 25. They finally told the court, hey, we don't have Jack DeCour's prints. They still wait another 5 months to June to print that fool? What took 5 months to get Jack DeCour to come in there and do his fingerprints? That's crazy. So freaking crazy. You got kicked out of CrimeCon for asking about no IgG on blood DNA at scene. Oh, that's crazy. I still need to go in there and find their CrimeCon panel because I know that there was like a short thing on TikTok going around, and they were on the on a stage on the at CrimeCon, but I keep forgetting to go back and check it. You'd think that they would, right? They need to know. That's crazy. That's millions of dollars. And then you also have to take into consideration what else did he say? The university spent over $1 million on top of them having $1 million of just in case you need it money put into a budget from the state just for them. And then they also spent on top of that $1.something million. For what? For what? When everything got broke down, they only spent $3,000 on counseling. How the hell did they end up spending $1.7 million? Because you have to think about it. Yeah, the house didn't get torn down for a year, but what was it ever? A rent offense and a damn cop that just sat there for a few hours at night before it got switched over? They all took naps. They still allowed them to come in and pee all over the place. They were not hardly guarding anything. $1.7 million? Come on. Yeah, Christy's apparently going to an IgG class to learn how to do it. Yeah. She won't test the unknown DNA in her own daughter's case. They won't test the hair in her own daughter's case, even though that's their entire agenda for this Murder Has a Name Foundation. Literally hair and DNA. The hypocritical bullshit. I know that they did that on purpose. I know that they did that on purpose. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Isn't that insane? I think it's disgusting you're saying the word gag. When some of the victims were gagged, I think it's disgusting that we're asked to hide what happened to our children when she wasn't gagged. I don't understand why he wants it to be that she was. It's just like that one weird lady. Remember the lady that was in the Facebook group when the What Did You Say to Adam video came out? And she was on the Drunk Turkey show talking about how she was at the I think she was at the plea change, and she said she was in the audience or whatever. She was getting weird. We all caught it. We talked about this before. When it was brought up that there was no sexual component to the crime and that there was no SA or any R or anything that seemed to have happened, she was getting visibly pissed that was not a construct here. And that was really weird. And it is the same way that the Goncalveses would just say the most off-the-wall shit that wasn't true. Because remember, Christy even came out here and tried to say that Kaylee was sitting up in the corner, slumped over, sitting up, slumped. No, she wasn't. They also came out here in the interviews in the very beginning when they only had the death certificates claiming all of these differences with Maddie and Kaylee's wounds. And when the guy actually said something about autopsies to them, they did not correct him and be no, we don't have the autopsies. This is just what they told us. And what we kind of saw the differences are on the death certificates. But they went on press tours talking about this information, how the means don't match and all these other things, pretending to know more than they did, over exaggerating the things that they actually did know to make it sound like they were being told information, all while in the same breath telling us the state wasn't talking to them. For some reason, they seem to forget that they did that, which is crazy. Super freaking crazy. And they do it on purpose. Yeah, they do know. I asked Bryan Internet CrimeCon during his Q&A how he felt about no IgG for blood DNA on scene. You could hear a pin drop. I'm going to have to go in and try to find those. I'm going to have to go in and try to find those. Try to listen and be nice, but they are so full of shit and pander to be useless streamers. I got mad, commented, so I left before I melted down. Yeah, it's bad. Like, a few hours ago when I went to go, like, listen, it had already been up there for, like, some hours and only had, like, 123 views. And I don't know if they're more popular somewhere else. I don't know if it's going to get a lot of traction. I don't know what this was all about. I know over on TikTok, their little like advertisement had like almost 200,000 views on it. But you can't release an hour and 30 something long something on TikTok. So I don't know why they didn't advertise for it over on YouTube. They didn't tell their people that it was going to be coming over on YouTube. The short that they posted on TikTok about it was not over on YouTube. It wasn't being talked about over on their podcast page. It's very, very strange that they sat there and did an entire hour, over like an hour and 40-minute long interview with these people. And they weren't even like, they were only talking about it on TikTok. Odd. Just very strange. Very, very, very super strange. So ridiculous. Oh, I sure did. Get some more tomorrow too. Yeah, I don't understand that. And then that's another thing. What else have we been finding out here lately? How many people the feds talked to that Moscow didn't? We know for sure Kohberger's entire family. And then Connor goes to try to get information and finds out that there's interviews that don't exist that should. That there's even some that have full-on reports, and he's being told that these things don't exist. And then the other person went and found, was it Accomplished Day? Accomplished Day went and found that they didn't talk to Quinn Kelly either. The feds did. We find out through the unsealed information just right before that Dylan actually did contact him. But in her story, she's saying that he also like responded something to her. But the records that we have, it's like a 19-second call. How are you going to have a whole conversation in 19 seconds? That makes no sense. A bunch of outgoing stuff at around the time of all the movement and stuff in the 4 o'clock time frame, but no responses. So they hid it from us, and we also can't verify from the timing that we have for her phone records that she actually had a conversation with him. Why all of that? Why all of that? That's crazy. That's what I mean. Yeah. They literally have been talking shit on nothing but YouTube channels. Everything that we have reviewed here has come from YouTube. All of it has come from YouTube. Even though this interview was only put out on TikTok, where did we watch it? YouTube. Yes, it's all very ridiculously, wildly, violently hypocritical. Thank you for being a member for 4 months, Scully. Can't believe you changed your name again. That's like this 3rd time, isn't it? I'm glad that I know who it is, because I would be very confuzzled. Yeah, we realized it really, really super early that it was just not going to happen. He wasn't going to get anything fair. It didn't matter that they did a venue change. None of it mattered. Isn't that the wildest shit? Oh, yeah, we're going to listen to it all over again in a couple days. Like I said, that's where I got my little clip from. Him standing up and saying that. I'm like, no, we're going to repeat that every single day for the rest of forever. The entire world. That's the crazy part. They're doing all of this in front of our faces. All of this in front of our faces. I haven't really checked my emails today. I checked them a bunch last night, but I will recheck after I get off of this. Tracy is apparently on a sheath found in the home, but can't we place him in that house, around the house during the murders? Go figure. At all. At all. No. No, because we can't confirm anything as far as I know. Not with the way that things are right now. I don't even know if that would be something that was documented. Like that would need to be like a recorded conversation. That would need to be something that they come out and they verify. No, just for now, it's just what Steve said. And I know that Steve says a lot of crazy shit, but I feel like that's something that looks good in Bryan's favor. And we know that he was not sober during that interview. I tend to believe it. Loose lips sink ships. I tend to believe what Steve said because he was not thinking. He was not thinking when he said that. The first thing that she said, that's my first impression of Christy. And I'm being told in comments that she makes a comment about this in this interview. And it's something about like, well, we could have called her blah, 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 whatever. But instead I called her a brat. And my first thought is you are still too shallow to understand the reason why we have a problem with it. It's not the fact you called her. Like, it's not the fact of what you called her. It's the fact that you did it in general because she didn't want to date the little boy that you wanted her to be with, you freaking weirdo. And now she's dead. And that's the first thing that you say on camera is how you're basically disappointed in your dead daughter because she was just being a little brat, not wanting to be with the guy you wanted her to be with. That was the problem we had. It didn't matter if you called her a brat, a bee, or anything else. It was just the generalized situation. On top of y'all not getting y'all's asses up and going to Moscow. Sitting there not giving a damn. And then the first impression we get from you doing your own interview is you talking shit about your daughter because she didn't want to be with Jackie boy. Ugh. I'll never let that go. I don't give a shit. No. All of that all together? Come on now. All of that all together? Mm-mm. Nope. Mm-mm. Yes. And then they say it. It's either in the book or the Amazon Prime series. It's one of them. It came out at the same time. Lipso Bipso's coming out the closet now. She's been up there for hours sleeping. I hear her moving. Hello. Here she comes. Oh my God. What are you going to step on? Now she's going to go bother Zelda. Go. There's plenty of room for your little skinny butt. Go. Nope. She's going to go back there. Okay. I think she's settled. Probably not. Probably not. Well, see, and now the way that Kaylee is being described, she definitely moved after. Because there's no reason for there to be all of that blood on the pillow and then like that space in the middle, but that's not where she was. So I don't know if posed is it though. Because like something that I've really wondered, and like I've said this a couple times, if you've been here even 80% of the time, you've heard me say this before. What if she didn't die right away? Can you stop it? What if she didn't die right away? What if she was alive when whoever did that left? And the reason why she was leaned more on Maddie, more like in like a cuddling type position, is because she moved towards Maddie. Because she, again, did not succumb to her injuries yet. And maybe she was trying to reach for Maddie's phone that was right there on the nightstand. That's something that I've thought a lot about. And it's something that's come up again when we got the autopsy reports. And we see that it was not fast. That they felt the pain. That there was an immense suffering. None of that should be in there if it was as quick as they've been lying to us about over the past 3.5, 4 years almost. So when we read that came instantly back to my mind because it was a thought that I had. Is it possible that she somehow, because people have survived crazy shit, bro. People have fallen stories and stories and stories and survived even though every bone in their body was completely broken. People have been stabbed 50, 100 times, somehow live. Shit happens. Something that I've wondered. If she was still alive after the person left and she put herself towards Maddie, either to be next to Maddie because she knew that she was about to die because they were best friends. I don't know. Or maybe she didn't realize because of how bad her injuries were or anything, like there was her phone around her, but somehow she maybe knew that Maddie's phone was right there and maybe her arm, and the reason why they're in a cuddling position is because maybe she was trying to reach for the phone. That's, I think, a big possibility based off what we know now that the autopsies say. And given that thought, you have to be even more intensely pissed at the 8-hour delay. Because what if somebody could have been saved? What if Dylan wouldn't have been an idiot and would have actually called 911? And the cops would have actually showed up and seen what the hell was going on. What if somebody could have been saved? It sounds a hell of a lot more likely after reading the autopsy reports, does it not? They downplayed to us so many things. For what? I don't understand. I just never understand. All this time later. Isn't that crazy as shit? And see, I think that's because people are starting to pay more attention now that there's been so much shady shit actually going on and becoming so mainstream, and because people like us exist now. Like, it's not just people on the screen like me, or people that are not on screen but have channels like Connor that are putting stuff out there. I've seen over the past few weeks, several of you that didn't post anything anywhere, that just did it to see what you could find, have been filing FOIAs and trying to get information to them, sent me all kinds of stuff. Been forwarded over to Connor, trying to get the list all together. There's a lot of people looking, including ones that are redacting shit and then not releasing them. And we're finding out that it's like the shadiest interviews about stalking situations and shit like that. Remember that crazy shit that's been very, very recent? There's all kinds of crazy shit going on in this case, all over. Different levels of shady. Some probably personal, a lot when it comes to like the criminal portion, the case itself. But I don't know what the hell some of this other shit's doing. These interviews that we've been getting here recently have been extremely eye-opening. The Sigma Chi ones, extremely. The Peter ones, extremely. Jack Decor, extremely. I'm hoping this week we get the 11:15 interview. It should be this week or next week. I don't see why it would be any later than next week. And I did check my City of Moscow stuff earlier today, because I have prices. Remember the little video that I posted a few days ago? Like, it was just like me on my phone, but I like turned the screen around to like show you guys all the stuff that has prices on it. I still haven't gotten anything saying I have an invoice due. So I'm wondering if that's because they're still working on stuff. I really expected by now to have invoices for at least two of these. Like, I figured the Brett Payne one is like $19. So I figured I would have gotten something for that one. And then the one for the K9 report is almost $40. So I thought for sure maybe I'd have gotten an invoice for that one by now, but maybe they're still working on stuff. The chain of custody for item 40, which is the not Xana's blood in the kitchen swab, that one's like almost $12. I figured I would have gotten something for that by now. Oh no, I did. I paid $4.50. I paid the $4.50 something cent deposit back on June 24th. But see, that means that the whole thing is like what, $8? So why is it taking so long? Just give him my stuff. Give him my stuff. Oh well, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that we've stuck to as much of the facts as possible here. It's made it a lot easier to be able to go through and figure out what's bullshit and what's not, when there's not a bunch of additional stuff mixed into everything. And the crazy part is that there's so many guilters that call me a conspiracy channel. How? Maybe my other channel you could call that if you want to, because I talk about all kind of stuff over there. The government sucks, the alien things, all the crazy shit. Cool. But how can you call this channel a conspiracy channel when we're going based off of the facts? The forensic documents, the actual forensic analytical breakdowns of the DNA, the cop's own words, the cop's own documents, the court's own paperwork, the expert's own product. How is that a conspiracy? It's insane. Like the way that they will try to turn the truth because they're scared of it. Wild. Wild. I mean, look, I don't see how they can't know. I don't know how they can't know. I really don't. Yeah, that's crazy. I'd like to see some of the footage from CrimeCon. I really would like to see it. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, everything is just so wild. Yeah, the fog light situation. The fog light situation. Them having to literally remove the car that they want us to believe is his car coming from Pullman that crosses in front of the cannabis shop that apparently is heading to Moscow. They removed the entire journey that they want us to believe he took from Pullman. And they want us to just be okay with SB1 starting already in Moscow at Indian Hills around like 3:30 something in the morning. Hello, Zelda. Is she getting on your nerves? So now you're going to come sit on the mouse? Can you please move your butt? Thank you. Yeah, wild. How are you just, how would you present that to the jury? Oh, he lives in Pullman, but we have no footage we can give you of him actually getting to Moscow. We actually also can't show you with his phone him going to Moscow because it's not reporting to the network at all. And honestly, we can't even really tell you how it's not reporting to the network because we can't tell you the truth about how his car actually went the other direction that we want you to believe, because then you're going to know we're full of shit. How was the jury supposed to take? He just poof into Moscow. Poof. Like a genie. Poof. How? This isn't Star Trek. You cannot teleport, transport. You can't beam anywhere. You can't do any of that. So what were they supposed to feed the jury? You want me to believe you've got all this camera footage? You can also track him apparently going back at 9 o'clock in the morning, but you've got no footage of him leaving Pullman? You've got no footage of him leaving Pullman that nighttime or during the day at 9 o'clock in the morning. You've got no footage of him leaving Pullman. Bright and sunny. You literally have all of the campus cameras were reserved for just in cases by Pullman. Pullman and WSU started doing their own video canvassing before they were even asked to. It's in the reports we got from Pullman over a year ago. Businesses, residentials, all the school campus. They have footage, but it shows Kohberger going the direction that he says he went. How can that not be true? Why else wouldn't they have been able to go in by now and find the right car, knowing that the fog light car is wrong? They can. It's just not going the way they want us to believe it goes. I don't understand. There's nothing that can ever happen that will make me understand the way this case ended up. I hope that's the case. That they know. I mean, for them to just straight up be like, no, we have no clue. Insane stuff. This is so insane. Like, it's just the fact that he thinks that we think that they're characters. Like, we know that they're not characters in a book. That's why we're angry. That's why we're mad. If this was just characters in a book to us, we would have already moved on completely to a whole other case and been talking about somebody else by now. These are not characters. It's just disgusting. Like, does he actually think that? I don't know if he actually thinks that or if he is just being a piece of shit like he normally is. It's hard to tell. That's what I mean. Like, we have put in time, effort, energy, mental health, money, arguing with these damn authorities, just trying to get a little bit of something. And again, every single time we pay for anything, every single time we FOIA anything, the families get it. Our hard work, us giving a shit. Don't you dare step on my keyboard, little girl. What are you doing? Are you trying to escape? You can just go to the door. I'll let you out. Yeah. Well, she wants on my watch. She's about to jump. There she goes. Oh, she's going to scratch my chair. I shouldn't even be letting her do that. Stop. This is like such an old chair, about to get rid of it. So I've just like been letting her do that, and I probably shouldn't be doing that. Because then she's going to do it to my new one. Stop it. Why you do that? Quit. You can sit there if you stop. She's like a parrot. She's going to lay down. She'll disappear sometimes, but I'll come in here and she's just sitting on my chair. Zelda's right here. Can you see her? Let me see your tail. You see her tail? There's her tail. She's going to jump over there now, I think. You going to go? No? You look like a fat little raccoon. Okay, she's just perched like a gargoyle in the corner of my desk over her. Yeah, it annoys me how they behave. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why that 8-hour delay makes me even more mad now that we know what it says. Yeah, I don't understand why they had an attorney. He literally did nothing. He literally did nothing. He didn't talk for them. Did not talk for them. They came out here just to talk in, and yeah, that's what I like. And I know that we don't know her, you know, like, and I'm not saying that I know for sure 100% how she would feel about things, but everything that we have been told about Kaylee and the way that she was into true crime and like facts and helping people and trying to figure things out, I don't think she would appreciate it. And I could be wrong. I just don't think she would, based off of who we've been told from, you know, all kinds of people who she was. You just made a full circle. What are you doing? She's going to do it again. She just knocked something off my desk just to be rude. Hey, I didn't do nothing to you. I didn't do nothing to you, bro. You going to sit? You going to sit down? You going to tell people hi? Probably not. She wants to cause a ruckus. She wants to cause a ruckus because she's on my shoulder. Now, Zelda's acting jealous. Why do you do that? You could be back there, but you never want to do that. You'll be okay. Here, go walk. Don't step on my keys. Go that way. Or sit. You're fine. But I need my mouse. Thank you. Yeah, we're going to go over it tomorrow. We're going to go over it tomorrow. Yeah, I don't think it's her bracelet. I think it's wire. We went over that yesterday. Was that in the members only live? We went over the bracelet. See, oh my God. And that's disappointing. See, I don't know what he said in his most recent report, Joe Scott Morgan. I used to listen to him a lot, like probably like over 10 years. When did I like discover true crime podcasts? I'm trying to think here. It was my overnight. Oh, I did data entry for Wells Fargo at night when the kids were tiny. Like Ariel was like 4. And that's when I like found true crime podcasts. Because before that, I like didn't have a reason to like even look for anything to like listen to, you know, in an office environment. That was like my first like office-y type thing. And I listened to him. And I think that's whenever I started listening to. Was it 14? There's no way it was 14 years ago. No, that can't be true. Let's see. No. Because how long has Body Bags been around? Has it been that long? I don't think it's been that long. I don't think it's been that long at all. There's no way. I'm trying to see like when the first episode came out. $2021. Okay, so that must have been at my other office then. Well, I was listening to something back then. That's when I first started listening to true crime stuff at night. But I guess I just don't remember who the hell it was that I was listening to. But I listened to Joe Scott quite a bit in my more recent, before we started working from home. And then obviously as we started working from home. Because he's forensics. And so I listened to a lot of his stories, just like podcasts, like on road trips and shit like that. And so when he started following me on Twitter, I was like, hell yeah, Joe Scott freaking Morgan is following me. But then I started listening to the way that he is on Nancy Grace and the way that he just like caters to her and doesn't put her in her place and just lets her say the craziest shit. And he doesn't ever say anything to her. And then I listened to the way that he like goes on about this case. And I'm like, shouldn't you be just talking about the wounds and not really giving an opinion on guilt or innocence? Like, aren't you just the forensic guy? You're not supposed to have an opinion. You're supposed to just come out and tell us what the wounds tell you. You're not supposed to talk to us if you want to be a real professional, you know, Joe Scott. You don't give us your opinion. Not when it comes to guilt or innocence. You just tell us what you think about the wounds themselves. You don't cater to Nancy Grace's rhetoric. But because you liked that paycheck and you like the attention, you went Jerry Springer with it, and I lost a lot of respect for him. So whenever he was following me on Twitter, I think he still is. I don't know, I haven't even checked. It's been a while. But he's been following me for like some years now. I just figured it was because Nancy Grace told him to spy on me. Because she blocked me. So I figured he was just an agent. You know, one of them guys. I can't really trust his rhetoric anymore because of the way that he behaves with her. Which is crazy. And that's the craziest part too. They went from wanting full transparency, all the documents, quit the gag order, remove the gag order, put everything out there, to now they want everything shut down. They don't want you reading the documents. They don't want you talking about the documents. They don't want you reading anything. They want another protective order on the WSU stuff, so nothing that trickles over from this case gets put out over there. They don't want you to see the facts. And they said that themselves in a Facebook post. Don't read the court documents. Excuse me? That's crazy. Zelda. What are you doing, Zelda? Quick, you're like licking yourself by the microphone. You can probably hear her. I'm about to have the boys come get them because she's scratchy, and she's licky over here. Zelda. She's just gonna do her own thing, I guess. She just gets on my nerves. I just want Christy to woman up and be honest. I mean, like that's the least that she could do for the chaos that her and her husband caused in all of this, for everyone, not just Kaylee, for everyone. The stuff that they came out here and said caused an entire story change for Xana and Ethan. That group of people over there is the whole origin source of Ethan's body being behind the door. So like wedged behind the door that Dylan and Bethany couldn't get it open. So they called Hunter over specifically to manhandle it open. That story came from the Goncalveses. That story came from Christy talking to Drunk Turkey. That's where that story came from. And they're going to blame that on what? They're the ones who came out here and said it. Zelda Mawilda. Come here. Come here, please. You can't be licking yourself in my microphone. That's gross, bro. You're going to have to go to the window. I know you don't want to, but you can't lick yourself in the microphone. That's gross. Okay, so go do that over there. Over here. Nope, over there. Lick yourself over there, please. Don't fall, Lipso. She's a pro. She's a pro. That's what I don't get either. And they're getting them. Like I said, when we pay a FOIA, the families get the same email that we get. Same one. I'll check all my emails tonight. I haven't been able to check a bunch of them, but I'll check the rest of them tonight. I think I still have to get back to one of the winners from yesterday too. Yeah, it was already set up for failure. That's true too. It was beyond the whole world. Oh, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, Joe Mom. Oh, have I missed stuff? Holy shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I have. Okay. Thank you again for the 5 gifted memberships, Joe Mom. I appreciate that. 10 gifted memberships from Miller Time. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. $4.99 from Lady Di. I appreciate that, girl. Thank you so much. Did you see the MK? What? Ma'am, I was too busy getting burnt to a crisp and not being able to eat out of the fish I was getting burnt for. What do you mean? An MK Ultra hearing today. Oh my God. Mind control and accountability. Oh my God. Oh, we gonna. Thank you for telling me. Holy shit. Maybe Friday. Maybe Friday. We'll talk about that over there. Holy shit. That's kind of shocking. Oh shit. I forget she's back there. Hold on, I gotta shift my big butt out the way. Yeah, sit back down. That's wild. Here she goes. I know you feel like you gotta get comfortable, but can you stop doing that? Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Welcome, Sherry. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the 5, Lori. 10 more gifted memberships from Lena. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Congratulations to those who got those. Thanks for the $9.99, Kim. Is anyone watching the clock on Bethany? Oh, on his appeal thing. Yeah, okay. So apparently the deadline is like September 2nd. September 2nd. I want to go over the new DOJ like post-conviction relief situation that just happened, because I don't really know if it'll have anything to do with this case or not. Regardless, there's always an appeal. There's always an appeal. There's always something that can be filed. There's never no options. That's just not how, unfortunately, for the people that like deserve to be punished, they're never out of options, it seems. So yeah, there's a deadline. September 2nd again, as I believe the deadline for that. Ann Taylor seems to be doing all kinds of other things. But again, the only thing that I can think of that would make any sense to me personally for why she's trying to block some of the financial records, meaning she doesn't want the Idaho Statesman to be able to see some of the stuff that the defense paid money for in the trial, is because that there's still something in the works. But there's a lot going on. Like everything that we've been talking about is going on while we're still like hoping that she's got something in the works here. for a deadline that she's supposed to meet. So I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, September 2nd. September 2nd. Maybe they're friends with Dylan's. Who? The Goncalveses? Is that who you mean, Joe Mom? I don't know if that's who you mean. So I'm not gonna, I can't answer. I'll look at the chat and see if you answer. Do you mean the Goncalveses? Or do you mean these podcast people? I don't know if you mean them or not. I know that the Goncalveses know the other creators. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I've never seen these people before, and the guy apparently has like a long history of working with a bunch of like different documentary people. I don't know. I have no clue. Thanks for the 10 accomplished day. How you doing? MPD denied Bethany Funk's friend Yessie's interview and said it doesn't exist. She's the witness who told MPD Dylan wasn't drunk. You know, didn't you post? I think I saw you post something about that on your post tab. Let me go check. I think I did, though. I feel like I just saw that. Here it is. Here, I'll show the post real quick. Hold on a second. I'll show the post real quick. Yeah, so this is another one. So you guys remember when we were going through the reports, there was a report where the girl mentioned how she ran into Dylan and Dylan had told her that she couldn't drink that night. That girl? Well, that's the interview that Accomplished Day tried to get. It says, when I requested the interview for Moscow Police Department, they responded that no recorded interview exists. But on report number 67, it specifically states number D-7 was submitted into evidence at the Moscow Police Department and to see the recording for the full details. So even if this isn't Yesty and they've got the name wrong, D7 does exist because it's in the report. But they're telling her, or actually, I don't know if Accomplished Day is male or female. It doesn't matter. They're telling them that this very specific D7 doesn't exist. So the only thing I can say is ask ISP for it. Tell them, and even like if you can attach it, can you put attachments? I think I've put attachments on my request for ISP, and you might have already done this. But this is where I will take my FOIA that I just got from MPD that tells me they don't have it, and the report that says ISP says that they did it and they sent it to MPD, and then I would FOIA ISP, and I would say, whatever you need to say to make it known, you checked with MPD and they don't have what's referenced in this Idaho State Police report. So now you need to check with Idaho State Police to verify that it was actually sent over to the Moscow Police Department, because the Moscow Police Department has no record of it. And then they'll have to basically follow the chain of custody. So basically, I guess you could FOIA for the chain of custody for D7 with ISP. That's your only option you've got left for that one. You might have already done that, but that's how I would go along with that one and see what they do. Because there's a lot of stuff that MPD has referenced in their reports that ISP has or ISP did and blah, 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 whatever. And then I'll ask and no, they don't. Namely, the pocket recorder from the interview in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, and the transcript. All of it just doesn't exist. I don't See, this is the thing. And I don't know these people from Adam. All right. I don't. The vibe I get from Kohberger's family, and I feel like he mimics their beliefs. I just don't feel like they will. I feel like even if he's exonerated and he gets out and all the truths come out, I feel like the family, I don't feel like Kohberger's family would ever sue the victims' families. We've already read, okay, we'll go based off of that. We've gone over what Melissa has come out and said in her interview. The victims' birthdays are in their phones so that they can remember them. Her mother prays for them all the time. Prays for the families. They know that being without Bryan sucks, but they can still hear his voice. They can still see his face currently in real time, not something from the past. If they want to, they can. The families can't. They are very aware of that. And it doesn't seem, at least not the way that Melissa came out publicly speaking, that they hold animosity even against the Goncalveses for all the bullshit that they have said about that family. I don't feel like the Kohbergers would do that. I feel like they're better than that. And again, I don't know them. I'm going based off of what we've seen and how they've behaved so far and what we've heard, the little bit we have. Now, sue somebody else? Sue an entity? Sue a police department? Sue a state police department? I think so. All the horrible shit, even them trying to say that they're accomplices somehow. No, I still don't think that they would do that to them. I just don't. And just the one piece that bothers me, that just always, I mean, so many things in the PCA bother me, but the forefront, just that's been the most recent, I guess, in my face with the forensic documents, I guess, is the latent shoe print being used to prove suspect's path of travel per Dylan's story when it wasn't even analyzed. They photographed it and then did nothing with it. And an unanalyzed piece of evidence that they couldn't prove anything about was placed in there as proof of something based off of a story that they have no proof of from a girl that changes her story every time she tells it. Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? It's ridiculous. It's so bad. And they could take that information that they get from us doing all these FOIAs and actually put it to good use. And they say in that interview something about how they don't have a point of contact where they can ask that they can trust about if something is true or not. Then go find one, Steve. Quit hopping around all these damn YouTube channels and go find an unbiased person out there that doesn't have any idea about this case. There are plenty of analysts, researchers, independent crime researchers, lots of people out there that have never heard of this case, but that are very much of the mindset of reading through information and telling you exactly what you need to know from it. Go find an unbiased source, even if it costs you a little bit of money. Go find someone that you can literally give every single piece of information to and tell them to dig through it and then come to you with a report of what they have found. And when that person does that and they come back and they tell you that there's nothing there to point to Kohberger, but to one piece of bullshit that they have all of these other issues with, you're going to know exactly why we've been out here asking questions. It's not for nothing. But you can't sit there and say, oh, we don't have anybody we can trust. We're not going to read it. You read it yourself. You won't read it yourself. You can trust yourself. Can you not trust yourself? Or is it because you know something else? See, that's what it always ends up going to. What is the reason for this ridiculous behavior other than knowledge of something else that we are not privy to? Something that is more on the self-preservation side of things. when it comes to that family. Because what else would make them behave this way? The hypocrisy of starting a freaking foundation aimed at testing unknown DNA and unknown hair while telling people who are asking them, are you going to test the unknown hair in your daughter's case? Telling those people to go and unfuck themselves on their Army of Love Facebook page. Those are the people that we're supposed to be supporting. No. No. No, it's just not going to happen. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. My God, I'm like over an hour behind in the chat. But I'm trying to literally like highlight everybody's stuff, even if I don't read it and get to it. That's what I knew. That's the only thing that's going to solve this, bro. It really is the only thing that's going to solve it. Because that is the most pure state that it was found in by the police. Because even the forensic chick who got it wrong showed up hours after the call. Well, maybe not hours. When did Snyder show up? I mean, still hours. Like what? Like a good 2.5 hours? It seems like she showed up with the first cavalry in from the Idaho State Police. But that's still how many other officers walked around? How many other people walked up and down those stairs in that section? The purest form of that knife sheath is going to be from Warner's body cam. They could take that damn blur and they could do that to Maddie and Kaylee to where we don't see a single piece of their skin. Not a single piece. And we could still see that knife sheath. Because it's not completely covered. It was partially covered. The way you see it still sticking out and visible is how it should look on his camera. How are you going to be focused on Noon's camera, who is just at the door, guys? If you go back and look at Noon's cams, even on the pieces where there's like blacked out redactions, there's only blacked out redactions of the full thing of him like down in Xana's room. When it comes to being upstairs, like it blocks out the door and stuff, but he never walks in. He never walks inside. Only Warner did. So why CW, especially Chris Whitcomb, wants to focus so much on Noon's camp? Again, I don't understand. Warner's is the most important. Noon's is the most important when it comes to the way that Xana and Ethan were. But when it comes to Maddie and Kaylee, it's Warner's. I just don't understand the stupidity here. Because the second that Maddie's mom came in and pulled that stuff with the lawsuit, that ruined any chance of us seeing the knife sheath in that way. We got photos from hours later and discrepancies from handwritten reports to typed reports to what supposedly happened here. We've got to see Warner's body cam. That's the only way. I would be freaking out right now if I were Stacy Chapin. Finding out that my son died with a clump of hair in his hand, that means the person who killed him is where that hair came from, because that would have been the last contact my child would have had before dying. How she hasn't come out and made a statement, how Jim just sits there and does whatever wifey wants. How? Where are they? Where are they? CrimeCon. Patting organizations on the back that didn't do a damn thing in this damn case. They should be out here throwing a fit. If the Chapins came out and started talking about that damn hair, you know damn well News Nation would pick it up. Brian Hinton would take that interview in a microsecond. Okay, yeah, I'm going to check my emails whenever I get off of this later on tonight. Yeah, it's all lies. That's what I don't understand. I mean, yes and no. Because it matches the photographs. That's the only reason why I say that. because what he typed up matches the photographs that we have. But now the bigger problem is that Snyder went around taking that first batch of photographs, and there's nothing in his report about a knife sheath, and there's nothing in his picture roll about a knife sheath. And then going back to Warner, there's nothing about a knife sheath there either. So that's why we've got to see the body cam, because even if he is so just like sort of in shock about what's like happening, and he's not really paying attention to be able to like focus and actually say, holy shit, I saw a knife sheath and now it's in my report. Even if the human missed it, the camera wouldn't have. That camera footage is the only thing that's going to be able to actually answer that question. For sure. I mean, I wish I didn't have to rant so much. I wish it could stay more level, but like, damn. Yeah, we went over that. We went over that. Hey, Into the Weeds, how you doing? Yeah. The hypocrisy is so crazy. Isn't that insane? And notice Olivia did the same shit when she was doing her speech. She was saying the same thing to Kohberger. What'd she call him? What did she say? If you wouldn't have snuck into the window like a pedophile in the night or some shit like that. And then Chris Hansen says that if you're interested in looking at crime scene photos, you're no better than a pedo, and that you might as well be part of the 764 Club. What the F is wrong with these freaks? I cannot believe the kind of shit that they say. I just can't. Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. Moves everywhere. Moves and movies and series. Amazon series, and then there's another one from Sundance coming out. That stupid Lifetime movie thing is still happening, and there's no telling what else is going on. Yeah, only if it actually points there. Like, none of this makes any sense. And saying yes to some questions and not giving any details doesn't do shit for me. Anybody can stand up and say yes 4 times, you know? That doesn't mean nothing. I think, yeah, me too. I think it's multiple people and big money. I think old money is definitely behind all this. See, I think so too, which is interesting considering that in the beginning, Hitler didn't even write one of the documents for the defense. Do you guys remember that? When he came out talking about the leak, it was geared towards the state being the culprit. The state was given an order, and it was very, very clear, the insinuation in Judge Hitler's paragraph in that order. And then the defense was addressed separately after the fact at the end of that hearing. And then there was a paper written for the defense, but it was very clearly aimed at the prosecution. So I don't know what happened, but we know what is it that we were told? That there was a civil side of things, an administrative side of things, an administrative investigation that happened that has a result that is sealed and filed with the court. It cannot be used by law enforcement for them to be able to prosecute their case, but the case is now with law enforcement because it's now criminal and there will be charges. So I'm going to assume that once the criminal side of this leak investigation is ready to go to court, that the administrative side can be unsealed then, because that's going to be something else that we're going to have to go over too. So much. It is so much. My God, I feel so dehydrated. I've probably drank like 4 bottles of water since we've been home. Yeah, I don't know why she was on the state's witness list. I do know that in some of the motions right before all this happened, I don't remember which one it was. I can't remember which one it was, but basically both sides stood up in court and said that no one on Kohberger's side of the family had anything bad to say, that none of them planned on saying anything incriminating towards him or saying anything bad at all. Because see, at first I thought maybe she was added to the list to talk about the cell phone, that he stole the cell phone. Because to me, like, usually courts will try to use like past crimes when there's another crime to show, what do they call it? There's a word for it. Escalation. Yeah, to show escalation. So when they filed for the phone thing to not be talked about, when they filed for the phone thing to not be talked about, I was like, okay, that's not it. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe about the Amazon account being a family account. Maybe somebody has to testify to it being a shared account. I don't know. Something. I have no idea. They just said that they didn't have anything bad to say. That they had no intention of getting up there and saying anything against him. So I don't know. It's a good question, but I don't know. I'd love to know. Isn't that crazy? After all this time. Yeah, not much time. Yeah, that's what I thought at first, but then they removed it and it was like, what? You would really think that like the state would want to use something prior. Yeah, that's why there's no way that blur couldn't be used for this for sure. It's just very, very strange that they could easily have used that, and most people on that side of things would. And then they just didn't. Very strange. I'm crispy. I'm so crispy right now, but thank you. It actually doesn't hurt too bad, but it probably will later. Maybe I caught it in time. I don't know. Girl, you are going to wreck everything. Get back on your perch. Calm yourself down. What's wrong with you? Moving everywhere for what? Crazy. Oh my God. What you mad for? Yeah, isn't that wild? We're definitely going to go over that. Girl, I'm going to get you out of here. But chill out. I don't know what his intentions are with anything. Yeah, because it's insane. There's a lot of effort and a lot of time that we went through all this stuff. So for it to just do that was so wild. Oh, girl. Buckle up. You don't know what MK Ultra is? Just buckle up. Because when we go over it, it's gonna blow your mind. Yeah. And it was all, lots of people did lots of crazy things under MK Ultra control. Very, but also there was emotion. You could tell that he wasn't trying to show too much, but there was definitely reactions to things. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's why I really want this lawsuit with EWU to do something, but I don't know if they've actually FOIA'd stuff and gotten stuff. I haven't seen receipts, and the stuff that they did produce shows that no payment was made, that they didn't actually purchase things. So I don't even know what's going to happen with that. Because I don't know if they didn't actually purchase anything that they FOIA'd, if they actually have a product to be filing a lawsuit for. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, that are credits. I even told them that before when they played all those games. I was like, there was no reason for us to have to pay the extra. Y'all already gave us the price for everything. So, can't you just give us credits towards our next FOIA or something like that? Because obviously we're still going to be, trying to get more information. No, shouldn't want to hear it. Shouldn't want to hear it. Yeah. I just don't understand how they have literally nothing. It's just so sad. I think there had to have been something. The feds did so much in this case. There's no way they didn't have a hand in the things that happened here. Yeah, there's no way that the feds didn't have a hand in what happened here. See, I didn't really find a connection into the firefighter thing. What was really interesting to me is that they went and FOIA'd the DoorDash driver's information like a couple of days before the plea deal happened. And this was also just a few days after all of her footage started coming out. And then the footage of her telling Brett Payne that she was friends with Bill Thompson. And then all of everything that Ann Taylor was asking to have like removed from or anything really was being denied in way of alternate anything. There was very few things that she actually won with those motions. And all of it was while Payne was repackaging the sheath. Ma'am, you're about to go. Wow. I think she wants out. Is that what you want? You're not at the door. Is that what you want? Are you undecided? No, she's quiet. See, I don't know what she wants. I don't know what she wants. No. Not yet. Probably will in the morning. Probably will in the morning. Oh, yeah, I know. We've been talking about it. Yeah. Why does she have to talk about him every single time? Like, how does her husband feel knowing that she is constantly talking about that man that passed away 20-something, 30 years ago? Oh, I have a spray. And it had a $3 rebate on Ibotta. Man. I do have vinegar. I probably will take another bath because I should have put vinegar in my bath earlier. See, and Jack's interviews are so wild. The guy that wants to buy Kaylee's nude photos, and then the guy also trying to apparently get Maddie's, the 17-minute phone call, him freaking out thinking that it might have been audio from the call. So much. So much. So much. Yeah, it was weird. We've caught quite a few like really weird fish that we couldn't figure out what it was. And I'm just like, okay. I don't know what you are. Yeah. Yeah, 12, bro. 12. All too small. It's Dad's job. I mean, I'll hook a worm. I was hooking shrimp all day today. Like, and I don't use a knife to cut them in half. I pinch them apart with my fingers. I'm not scared to get dirty, but it's Dad's job to take the hook out. Nope, your job. You do it. That's what you're doing. Reel your hook in and take this fish out. It's Dad's job. So serious. I'm gonna have to learn how to do it eventually, though. So for now, he can do it, but I'll learn when I need to learn. I will learn when I need to learn. 97 is about what it was today. They do. We take them crabbing. Like, fishing's always been like me and my dad's thing. Slade's not really into fishing. He likes to go out there and like watch the birds in the water. And he likes to come out there. Dawn likes to do the crabbing stuff. Ariel's the fisher. Like, she will constantly ask to go fishing with Dad when she was here for them to go together. And Slade just likes to be outside. But Dawn likes to do the crabbing. But me and Dad like to go out and just kind of take a break. And like, we like being out there for like some hours. The boys don't like to be out there for some hours. They can't be out there for some hours. It'll be different once we get a boat, because Dad's going to be moving out here soon. Like, oh my God. You see how loud she is? Ma'am, what you need? I don't know what you want, but if you keep getting loud, you're going to have to go and eat something. Yeah. They could have. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know what the whole thing went. It's just such a mess. It's just such a mess. Very out of nowhere, and then giving 3 different answers to your defense experts. Crazy. Yeah, we've argued a lot, me and Fixler, on Twitter. On Twitter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Like the whole thing about stalking, no. And the crazy part is that there is some stalking situation that was going on, but we know that it wasn't Bryan. So who the frick was it then? Because it was happening. That's what's so creepy to me about that freaking one interview being paid for, having the redactions paid for, and then never released. Because I'm like, it has to be personal. It has to be someone who was worried after getting the report released from MPD and seeing that they're talking about a lunch in September and Kaylee telling all of them that there was a situation and all of them remembering. Who would go and get that interview redacted and then not release it unless you're someone who's worried about what was said and so you needed to check for it yourself? I don't know any other reason. I don't know any other reason. And that's another thing is what I don't know. Like, how has a big to-do attorney not seen what's going on and been like, I think I need to step in here? Unless somebody has tried and like, with the way the situation is right now, it's just not possible. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've known for a long time being in the situation, you know, that I was in with my ex, that the system is so broken, so freaking broken. But to know that they do it not just like in small situations that's just personally affecting you and no one else sees it and it's just you. To know that they do this shit right in front of our faces just so blatantly insane. Are they starting it this? I thought they couldn't do anything until next year. Are they starting it this September? I'm going to have to go back and check, but I thought it wasn't going to be till 2027. Ma'am, you are so loud. There's always somebody going to take up for him. Crazy. Yeah, I did notice that, like, they didn't even, did they even mention stuff about Cyray when they talked? I can't remember. Yeah, that was strange. I do want to go back through. It is 2027, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, they're bad. I mean, they could be a lot worse. See, like if we actually saw the bodies and stuff, but just like they were so bad. They tell a horrible story. Xana's room is so sad. Ma'am, you're making me sad because I don't know what you want. Meow. You went out? All right, give me a second, guys. Let me get them situated. Okay, yeah, they need to go eat. Have their snacks. And they'll be all right after that. Yeah, the book is going to be interesting. Let me see if I can track. I think it's supposed to, is it supposed to be here tomorrow? Or did it say the 2nd? Let me check it. Furnace or whatever. Oh, God. I know that I'm going to sleep like a damn baby tonight after this damn sunburn. I know that. I'm going to take some more naproxen. take my ass to bed. Let's see. Okay, so it got to my post office box today. Because I had it sent to, which I'm glad I did, because they'll open it and repackage it for me before they send it to my house. Because it's got this weird ass RFID tracking system technology thing on it. And I'm just like, So I'm glad that I used my channel PO box for that thing, because I don't know what that RFID thingy is doing. That's weird. All of them. All of them are so bad. And just more sketchy stuff. Yeah, like I was saying yesterday, I was telling my dad about Whitcomb's book and how wrong so many things are, and about his history and all those things. Ooh, maybe. Yeah, I question him a lot. No, his social media and stuff like that. Like I question him some. It's very possible. But yeah, my dad was like, that book was written as a distraction for something. And I was like, I feel like it, because of the way he's an ex-Fed and he downplayed the Feds on here and wasn't honest about hardly anything at all. My way can get on YouTube and use all the correct words. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand it. And this is another thing. They can also pump out content all day and not get penalized. Go to News Nation. 20 freaking videos a day, sometimes 30, different segments, different news segments, and all of their notifications get pushed out. None of their videos are not getting in the algorithm. They're all getting thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of views. They say all the buzzwords. We get penalized for speaking like humans. I don't know why they get away with it. I don't have any clue. All we know is that that's the truth. All we know is that that's the facts and that's how it works, and it's not fair. I don't know. But I know for a fact, me using the real words like I have been using here lately for the most part, my stuff is not getting into the algorithm the way that it usually would. It is beyond noticeable by at least half of my averages. Very noticeable. Plus, I know my notifications are not working. And like today, I posted this live for tonight. I posted both of the lives for tomorrow. And I posted when we're going to go over the plea change hearing on Thursday. So that's 4 notifications that should have gone out to you guys. But because they only give you 3 in a 24-hour period before penalizing you, I bet that there's not a single person in this chat right now that got all 4 of those. So, I mean, I'm just doing what I can. I don't know why they're allowed to do what they're allowed to do, why they're allowed to show certain things, because they can show people in hospital beds. They can show certain things on their channels. I talked about that, the DoorDash driver who got in a fight at the university, and showed him the same way they have the GoFundMe with him in his hospital bed. And YouTube came after me and tried to take the video down. I don't know. I hate it, and I don't know why. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know why. I don't know. But you know what? He's still on the letterhead. Jay Logsdon is still on the letterhead. The documents that Sarah posted today for the Idaho Statesman lawsuit, Jay Logsdon is still up at the top. He's the last lawyer. I believe it's Ann Elisa Bicabarlo, but Jay Logsdon was that 4th one. I was kind of surprised. Oh, that's true. Thank you for reminding me, Kaylee. That's true. He did have dental stuff done. That's right. That's true. Yeah. We're going to talk about that separately, I guess. Or maybe I'll clip out when I looked at them in the members only live, and I'll add a little bit of something to it, and we'll talk about it separately. Those pictures are wild. I need to talk to Connor about those. You mean Whitcomb? You mean Whitcomb? I don't freaking know. But again, I feel like he was paid to pay. Like, I know he's getting paid from the publishers, right? But I feel like he was paid or prompted to do this book because he said he was doing something else. He was deep into a 2-year journey of writing on another case when all of a sudden he gets approached for some shit with this one, and then the plea happened. Then he was like, whatever. And so it went from whatever to I'm going to drop everything I've been working on for the past 2.5 years and shittily write this book that I can't retain any knowledge of because I'm really just a piece of shit who doesn't care and just wants a payday. Prove me wrong, Whitcomb. Ugh. I cannot wait because like I said, I'm going to photocopy every single page of the book and put it together to like post it somehow on here. I'm going to send that to his publisher's company. And I'll be like, look at all these damn mistakes. Because it's going to be accompanied with a report. I'm going to ask them, is this the kind of quality that you want coming out of your production company, out of your publishing company? Look at every single mistake in here. Did none of y'all go back and check public documents? Nobody that signed that check and decided to push this through for printing thought to make sure that what you were filling out in all of these little pieces of paper was factual information, considering that this is a factual case? A real life situation. Nobody thought to check anything. Dude doesn't even have Kohberger's car year right in his book. Wild. I feel like AI had a lot to do with it. That'll be some years. That's another thing about these damn books. Books to me are finished stories. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Why are you writing a book? We are not even anywhere near done. Go to Connor's page, Amy, and look at his community post. He posted some photos that he got, and there's a Google Drive. And there's like blood on the walls at the whites, it looks like. And it's just very interesting the way it looks like it's like kind of smeared. Like there might have been a fight right there. Oh, well, I'm very lobstery, but I appreciate that. It's aloe lotion. It's aloe lotion. It is very rampant. The bullshit's very rampant. Yes. I didn't realize it until a few weeks ago, girl. Because we've been talking about that shit for a hot minute. And it was when I was going in and looking up, what was I looking up? Oh, when I was going in and looking up the stuff for item number 40. Because like I didn't know that the handwritten report said that it was negative for blood. That was found by, I think, Sarah. And then Lady Di reminded me about it. And then we went over it in a live. I was like, oh my God, yeah, by the way, look what you guys found. So I was right in my thinking that it still wasn't Xana's blood and didn't have anything to do with anything. But I did not see at the time the handwritten report that said that it was negative at the scene. But in going through to do my portion of the video, where we found that the Q-tip was actually part of the refrigerator incident, that's when I saw the date on that report. Because when we were reading that report, it didn't click to me at all. And then going through it, what was it, like 2 weeks ago we did that? It had to have been about 2 weeks ago because I wrote Chris Holland a few days after we did that video, or like the day after I did that video. So it's been about 2.5 weeks. He hasn't responded. By the way, again, just letting you guys know. But yeah, January 23rd was the date that it happened. And as soon as I saw that written in the paragraph, I was like, hold on. Hold on a minute. Pulled it up. Yeah. January 23rd, 2025. Closed session. Same day, Brett Payne told the court about the lead suspect before Kohberger and the unknown male DNA they found out about after Kohberger. Isn't that crazy? I didn't know either. It took me a minute. It didn't click to me at first. I wish that she would. I wish that she would. You don't? I'm pretty sure. Well, if you go to the video where I said it's not Xana's blood in the kitchen, you'll notice the title plus like just type that in and it should pop up. It's in there. I read the entire report about the refrigerator incident in that video, which maybe, I mean, not maybe, eventually it will be out there by itself. because we are going to go back through all of the reports. Like I said, I want to do Moscow Monday, where we go live on Monday to just go through one report at a time, and then pick another day of the week to go live to do one Idaho State Police report at a time until we get through all of them, so that we can make sure that we're not missing anything in way of what we want to FOIA. I can get my FOIA list organized, because there's still so many things I need to send out for, but there's been a lot of stuff that's already been sent out for. Other people have requested certain things. That's why I'm really like, and it's been so hard. Oh my God. It's been so hard to have time to still go in and try to get like all of my stuff organized, because my dumbass was not keeping up with it as we were going, which I should have been. That's my bad. That's my bad. But then to get mine done in order to be able to get the master one done. And then, like I said, there's a lot of people that are sending me stuff because they've been trying to get stuff too, which is, it's great. But there's so much information that we just, as the public, have accumulated, paid for, asked for, gotten together, gone over, reviewed, all kinds of things. And still none of it, bro. None of it is adding up. And we just constantly have more questions. I mean, I guess they're saying that based off of physical stuff. I mean, I don't remember what they did with those. Yeah, he should definitely be suing the cops. Oh, you could at the bottom there should be a money thing where you can gift one membership, but didn't you already do that? I know I'm behind. Oh yeah, see, you did it already. See, thanks again, girl. I appreciate that. See, I am behind. There was not an appeal. Ann Taylor is appealing a judge decision that is requiring her to give the defense financial records to the Idaho State. Oh yeah, no, there's not an appeal happening in the criminal part of this right now. Yeah, no. Were people thinking that? I'm behind in the chat, so I don't know. Thanks for the 999, girl. No, I don't. Yeah, that's not it. This is what we're going to be talking about in way of like an appeal happening right now. Right now is about the financial records, because they've already had some portions of that stuff go down. And now there's like even like a cross appeal happening. There's, like I said, there's 4 different documents that Sarah found in the case and she posted, and we're going to go through all of those. But yeah, there's nothing happening in the criminal case right now. We're still waiting to see what's going to end up happening. I'm so behind in the chat. I'm so behind in the chat. We're probably about to get off of here too, guys. I only wanted to be on here for about like 2 hours or so, because I knew that it was going to be late. So we're probably going to go ahead and you can do an hour on TikTok. Okay, yeah, maybe they'll break it down and post it like that over there. I don't know. I just found it odd as shit that they only talked about it over on TikTok and nowhere else on any of the other platforms that they have. I don't know. He probably did. That damn crosshat sure makes its rounds, because Steve Jr. has it on, and him and Olivia's freaking wedding announcements or some shit. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, I found out about that like a week or so ago. Yeah, I cannot believe that they said that. That's crazy as hell. But yeah, I would definitely take your denial and the report and attach them to the only new docs that we have out right now from the Idaho Statesman. We're going to do that tomorrow morning. I have no idea about Quinn's family. Oh, that must be what Lady Di was talking about. Yeah, that's for the unsealing of only the financial records. That's the Idaho Statement stuff. And I know that I'm behind like an hour or whatever in the chat. I just want to make sure you guys understand that it's not an unsealing in the criminal section of things. It's an unsealing for the financial records, because Ann Taylor, for some reason, doesn't want to hand them over. And I'd really like to know why. And I'm hoping it's because that they have something planned. Yeah. This really bothers me right here, because this came out of Christie's own mouth. And it's really sketchy to know that that's like the only time in their entire 30-year relationship that he's even gone to urgent care, and it just so happened to be like that same night. And then they don't go to Moscow, and it's like, were you hiding your face? Were you hiding whatever was happening? Because like that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever get any information about that. Like, I don't know if they even bothered to like check to see if he was at the hospital that night. Like, I don't know. Yeah, they got mad about it, and then while talking about it, like talk shit about it, not like even caring at all. Like, they can be mad at Kohberger all they want to. If they can believe whatever they want to. But his family didn't do anything to them. The Goncalveses have done nothing but talk so much shit about the Kohbergers. And Melissa could have came out here and went off. How dare y'all say all this stuff? You don't even know how wrong you are. Like, she could have gone off about all these horrible things these people have said about them. Instead, they care about the fact that they've lost their children. Birthday reminders, the reality of everything. They're taking all of this with so much grace, while the Kohbergers while the Goncalveses in turn say that the Kohbergers are accomplices and basically should be charged. Crazy, super crazy. They're so wild, so wild. All right, you guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and get off of here now. Thank you for hopping in here with me for a little while just to bitch about this case. Because again, we're a year in, all the thousands of pages, the thousands of hours, the hundreds of hours of video, every little thing that we've gone over, the interviews, everything. People coming out and speaking, state experts coming out and talking, us finally getting to read reports and stuff. Where the hell was what the state was going to use for anything? It's just crazy. This could literally happen to anybody. The way that this entire convoluted, discombobulated ass Tangela of a mess is happening. I mean, damn, literally anybody. This makes no sense. I was really hoping that with this plea change and the state being asked to stand up and give its opening statement, that we were going to hear something that was going to make something start making sense. And instead, it went the opposite direction. We can't put him there. We can't connect him to a damn thing. Sorry, not sorry. Isn't that insane? Insane. Wild stuff. Okay, you guys, thank you again for coming in here. I know it was late again. Thank you for my members and just you guys being here in general. Thank you for the gifted memberships, those who joined on their own, super chats and the super stickers, the super thanks, and again, just y'all's time. Y'all could be anywhere else for the past 2.5 hours, and you chose to be in here. And I very much appreciate that. You guys have a super, super great night. You will see me tomorrow. I will be crispier. I will be redder. But hopefully I'll have caught something I can keep without having to throw it back. And let me tell you something. Go catch you a 13, 14-inch sheephead and tell me that that's not good eating size. I was so depressed every time we throw them damn fish back. Oh, my God. I even told my dad, I was like, if we get pulled over by a game warden, I'll just say I'm dyslexic and I read it wrong. Like, can we just take them home already? Oh, my God. This is how it's been, like, the past, like, few times we've gone. And I'm getting depressed. So wish us luck for tomorrow. Because I want to come home and I want to cook some fish. That's all I want. That's all I want. You guys have a great night. I appreciate you guys. Sleep well. See y'all. If you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please don't forget to leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. And please don't forget to make sure that the notification bell is set to all so you don't miss any of my rants, reviews, reactions, updates, or deep dives.